Laker fans, what's going on? Welcome into the Lakers Report here on Chat Sports. Now, as always, we're going to be breaking down some Lakers news and rumors, but I want to talk about one guy who's really been in the news lately around the NBA, and that's Bradley Beal of the Washington Wizards. Look, Beal is unhappy in Washington, and you can't blame him because the Wizards absolutely stink. John Wall is hurt. Bradley Beal's been playing out of his mind, and the Wizards can't put a good team around him. Now, I will say, in defense of the Wizards, nobody forced Bradley Beal to sign the extension he did this past summer, which puts him on the team through 2021-2022. Now, he can't be traded until after the February 6th deadline. That's very important to remember. So what we're going to talk about here today cannot happen until the offseason. But I think if the Lakers miss the NBA championship, if they don't win the NBA finals, and they need one more piece, Bradley Beal could be that piece this summer. This year for the Wizards, Bradley Beal's been sensational, averaging 27.2 points per game. He's averaging somehow 6.4 assists despite only passing to like Isaiah Thomas and Rui Hachimura. He's averaging 4.6 rebounds, and the 31.3% from three does seem concerning on paper. But when you look at the fact that, again, the Wizards stink, and Bradley Beal has to take all of their shots, that three-point percentage isn't that bad. It's just a lot of three-point shots going up. Now, before I get into what an offseason deal might look like for Bradley Beal and the Los Angeles Lakers, I want to remind you to go check out our friends over at BetDSI. They are sponsoring today's show. You go to chatsports.com/bet and then use our promo code NBA120. You're going to get a 120% deposit bonus with BetDSI. Go make some money watching some Lakers games with our friends over at BetDSI. Now, here's the trade I cooked up. And I know you're kind of freaking out at first because there's a lot of moving parts. But I'm going Kyle Kuzma. He's got to be the center of any piece, any trade that the Lakers want to make. Caldwell-Pope, who I know has a no-trade clause. I know you're probably going to freak out about that in the comment section below, but we're just going to forget that and pretend he waives it in this situation. Danny Green to make the money work here. And plus, if you're getting Bradley Beal, Danny Green kind of becomes a little more obsolete in this scenario. Then also the Wizards get the Lakers' first-round pick for 2023 and second-round pick in 2022 and 2024. It's a lot to give up. But really, when you're looking at player-wise, talent-wise, Kyle Kuzma is the only one who's going to really hurt you to miss on this team. Because when you get Bradley Beal, he does what you want from Danny Green and Caldwell-Pope on a nightly basis. Now, he can't make up for what Kuzma does, but scoring-wise, he does. Bradley Beal is an absolute all-star, all-NBA caliber player, so you have to give him up. Got to give up a lot to get a lot, and maybe you don't want to give up Kyle Kuzma. I get it, Laker fans. He's the youngest talented player on this team besides Anthony Davis. He's, I think, 2 years younger than AD, and he's been great this year. Since AD's been out, he has been absolutely stellar. He's averaging this whole year 13.2 points per game, 3.9 rebounds and assists, and his three-point percentage is steadily climbing at 34.4%. But let's say you give him up and you get Bradley Beal. I think you start Avery Bradley. This is next season, of course. Avery Bradley, Beal, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and JaVale McGee. Look, that is, if it's not a championship caliber team already, that automatically makes them the favorites to come out of the Western Conference and win next year's NBA Finals. But maybe you don't want to give up that much for Bradley Beal. What would you give up to get Bradley Beal on the Lakers this summer? Let me know down in the comment section below. And to give you time, we're going to hit a quick YouTube ad break. So scroll down, reply to our pinned comment. Let me know what you would package to get Bradley Beal to the Lakers this summer. Now let's move on to Toronto, and apparently they're taking calls on three of their veteran players, Kyle Lowry, Serge Ibaka, and Marc Gasol. But I think the Lakers should have some interest in one of these three, and that one player is the point guard, Kyle Lowry. Look, the dude knows how to win an NBA championship. He is a steady player wherever he is. But the thing is, he signed a really big deal this past summer. The Lakers were slightly interested in him. We heard about that this summer, and that obviously didn't pan out. He's now with Toronto, who is a 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. So honestly, it kind of surprises me that they are looking to move these three guys. But I think the reason they're looking to move potentially Kyle Lowry is because Fred VanVleet's a free agent this next year, and he's younger, and they might be prioritizing him in this next year's free agency class. Now, Kyle Lowry has been absolutely incredible. He's basically carried him and Pascal Siakam have carried this Toronto Raptors team to that 4 seed. He's averaging 20.4 points per game, 7.6 assists, 4.5 rebounds, and shooting 36% from 3. Now, I say he's carried them. Look, the Raptors have a great all-around team. They've got guys like VanVleet, Siakam, Gasol, Ibaka, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson has stepped up big for them, and Chris Boucher's been a nice young piece as well. So maybe carry isn't the right word, but he has been stellar for Toronto. And if the Lakers want to get Kyle Lowry to LA, I think this is how they're going to have to do it. Look, I talked to some guys on NBA Twitter about, hey, how would this have to happen? I think it's got to be a 3-team deal. And really, this is a win-win-win in my mind. Toronto gets a young piece in Kyle Kuzma, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and then a power forward, Thaddeus Young, from the Chicago Bulls, who's going to be the 3rd team that comes in to help facilitate this trade. The Lakers get Kyle Lowry. They get a 2021 second-round pick from Chicago via the Pelicans, and then Chicago, in return, gets Danny Green and Quinn Cook. The reason I say this is a win-win-win, the Raptors stay competitive now, and they also get to build for the future with Kyle Kuzma, guy like KCP, and Thaddeus Young. The Lakers get a proven starting caliber point guard in Kyle Lowry who can help win an NBA championship tomorrow, today, next week, whenever it is. He is proven, and I think he makes a lot of sense at the point guard position for the Lakers. The Bulls move closer to being a playoff contender. They're on the bubble, but they don't have enough veterans on this team. Thaddeus Young isn't being used right, so instead you ship him out, you bring in Danny Green, who steps up big. Now, I know this kind of seems like a lot to give up for just Kyle Lowry and a second-round pick, but the thing is, Kyle Lowry's making a lot of money. You got to make the money work somehow, and the only way you're going to do that is by giving up Green, Kuzma, and Quinn Cook, and KCP. So I get it. I'm a little on the fence about this one if I'm the Lakers. I'm almost leaning no 100% here because it's a lot to give up, but it's the best I could come up with to get Kyle Lowry to the Lakers, who we know they've had interest in him before. Now, let's say they do make it happen. Here's what a starting 5 looks like in LA after the deadline. Kyle Lowry at the point guard position. You run Avery Bradley at the 2. I think he can make that work. LeBron James at the 3 with AD and JaVale McGee in the middle. Look, you got 3 guys who know how to win in AD, LeBron, and Kyle Lowry. You get a proven veteran in Avery Bradley and JaVale McGee, who has been steady all year long. But let's not just gloss over the 2 big men that the Raptors are willing to give up in Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka, because they could both make some sense for the Lakers as well. Now, Gasol's had a bit of a down year due to injuries. He's averaging 7.2 points per game, 3.6 assists, 6.5 boards. He is shooting 38.8% from 3, though, so that's been really good for Toronto. Ibaka, on the other hand, has been great, averaging 15 points per game and 8.4 rebounds with 36.3% from 3. Now, here's the deal. Gasol is great. Ibaka is great, but Ibaka is kind of redundant with Anthony Davis, and I'm not sure how much I like the idea of Marc Gasol next to Anthony Davis down low. If I had to choose one, I think Gasol would be a better fit because Ibaka is just, again, like a Dollar General version of Anthony Davis. But either way, I think Kyle Lowry is the one guy that you got to go for here if you're the Lakers and really want to see this happen. But maybe you disagree. Which available Toronto Raptor would you like to see in a Los Angeles Laker uniform by the end of the year? Type L for Lowry, type G for Gasol, type S for Serge Ibaka. I'll be typing my L for Kyle Lowry. Now, while you let me know that in the comment section below, Laker fans, I want to remind you to subscribe here to youtube.com/LakersTV. This is our Lakers only channel just for you guys. We've got 11.6 thousand subscribers right now. I'd like to see that get up to about 15,000 by the end of the year when, projectably, the Lakers are competing for an NBA championship. Let's talk about one more player here today on today's show, and that's Vince Carter of the Atlanta Hawks. I've seen him as a potential target for the Los Angeles Lakers leading up to the trade deadline. Look, this would be a much smaller move. Vince Carter hasn't been that good this year for the Hawks because the Hawks stink. Again, like the Washington Wizards, they just stink. But he's averaging 4.9 points per game, 1 rebound, 28% from 3. Not a whole lot going. So what this does for the Lakers, if they were to target Vince Carter, is bring in another veteran to help compete for a championship. And for NBA fans, it gets Vince Carter a chance to compete for an NBA championship, which I know I would love to see. So really simply, you don't have to give up a lot to get Vince Carter. I think you give up Troy Daniels and a second-round pick, and Atlanta says, sure, why not? We'll take the younger player and a second-round pick for Vince Carter, who is playing his last year in the NBA. The Lakers give VC a shot at a championship. And let's face it, it'd be the first time in a while that he's competed for anything meaningful. The teams that he's played for over the years, it's really amazing that such a great player has played for so many teams. Starting with the Toronto Raptors, he spent the good chunk of his early career there, then moved on to the New Jersey Nets, which was such a fun team to watch with him and Jason Kidd. Went to the Orlando Magic, which Honestly, I forget about that one because that was a really weird stint. Moved on to the Phoenix Suns, didn't do a whole lot there. Now, in the later half of his career, probably the most successful team he had was with the Dallas Mavericks. He was a great sixth man for them. But again, still not Toronto, New Jersey type Vince Carter there. Goes to the Memphis Grizzlies, plays a couple years there, then moves on to the Sacramento Kings, where they're not competing for anything. And then finally now he's on the Atlanta Hawks mentoring some young guys, and I'm tired of seeing him lose games. I want to see him go to a team where he can win, even if he is the 12th man off the bench. We'll know he at least plays above probably Jared Dudley at this point. So I want Vince Carter in LA. Let me know if you do too. Type Y for yes if you do want him. Type N for no if you don't want him in a Laker uniform. Let me know in the comment section below.